You know, I was doing acting, and I had fun doing acting, but I would probably, you know, be performing on stage. I had started a theater company before I started working at Funimation, so I probably would have focused more attention on that. And I love being on stage anyway, so I probably would have stayed there. But I don't see myself as being a voice actor had I not had the opportunity, you know, to audition for it. I wouldn't have gone out of my way, like to another state or something. And I probably wouldn't have drawn ElfQuest either, because that was just a freak coincidence that, you know, someone I admired was right next to me. Any other questions?
Okay. I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. What is the difference between what your opinion is, manga and anime? If you try to find the difference, what is the difference actually?
The difference is, you know, it's the main difference is that it's drawn by Japanese people. That is the main difference.
Manga.
Manga is drawn by Japanese. I mean, it's the word for comics in Japan. And but the thing is, if you are drawing manga or manga, however you want to pronounce it, here in this country, there are weird expectations for how it's supposed to look. When in Japan, there's no expectation, although they do have a similar look in a lot of the books. But if you look at Monkey Punch's Lupin III, looks, if you showed that to somebody who didn't know what it was and said, "Oh, this is manga," they'd be like, "No, it isn't." It's like, it doesn't look anything like manga. It looks more like Mad Magazine art, because he was inspired by the Mad Magazine artists, especially like Sergio Aragonés and people like that. So the simple explanation is that it's just from Japan. But when I was drawing in a manga style, there are certain expectations. The eyes need to be a little bigger, you know, the shape of the face has to be a certain size, the proportion of the head sizes of the body has to be like, you know, 5 to 6 heads tall, whereas in American comics it's generally like 7 heads tall. Just general rules that people expect you to do. And luckily, when I first signed on to do the book, it took 6 months to negotiate a contract with them. So I had 6 months to develop a style that I was happy with. And it was like, well, how would I draw manga? You know, so and they bought the initial style, which was just me throwing something together. But after I had 6 months to develop it, I really knew this is my interpretation of manga. Any other questions? Yes?
Do you prefer writing comics to manga, or do you prefer like voicing regular animated shows compared to anime?
What do I like to do best? I love voice acting. It's probably the funnest thing you could ever do. But I get more pride from drawing and writing my own stuff, because it's much more difficult, you know, than just going in there and playing. You know, there's a reason they call a play, because you're just playing. You're having a good time immersing yourself into this character. But when you're writing and drawing, I mean, that's a major effort, especially for 150 pages. So when I complete a book, or even when I complete a good page, I get a lot more sense of pride from that. So I guess that I enjoy that more.